In the last video I told you I have 3 tumours in my brain. I am planning to get radiotherapy at some point in the future, and it's my sister's wedding coming soon, and those things could cause problems. Obviously I had no control over when the therapy was going to take place, but that didn't stop me from planning what I believed would be the perfect time for me to get the radiotherapy. I came up with 2 options that I think would maybe work. So the first is to have the radiotherapy as soon as possible, and that would maybe give me time to recover before the wedding. So that's the first option. The second thing that I thought could maybe work is if my head doesn't start causing serious neurological symptoms, then the radiotherapy could happen immediately after the wedding, and that would be okay. Radiotherapy is X-rays or gamma rays that they fire into your tumour or around the area of the tumour. The gamma rays damage both the cancer cells and also the normal cells, but your body repairs the normal cells and the cancer cells die. That's sort of how it works. The treatment is exhausting and the recovery time is long, and most people spend a lot of the time in bed, not going to weddings. I will say stereotactic radiotherapy is slightly different. It's targeted directly into the cancer with an accuracy of a fraction of a millimetre. And that level of accuracy means that the healthy cells just receive a low level of radiation, but the cancer cells get the radiation directed into them, and that means it's much more effective. It does have fewer side effects, and it can be done in fewer sessions. In my case, 1 session was what they were planning. It's also a huge leap forward in cancer treatment. Let's give it up for the scientists. I had been on 2 milligrams of dexamethasone, steroids, to reduce the swelling in my brain. Now, radiotherapy itself causes the brain to swell. So on the day of my therapy, and also the day after it, I was supposed to take a high dose of steroids. Now, back in those days, I thought 12 milligrams was a lot. We'll talk about that some other time. But they wanted to stop the therapy from doing more harm than good. So the sequence of the events leading up to my therapy went something like this. On Tuesday, they made an MRI to map the tumours accurately. Then on Wednesday, they made a thermoplastic mould to hold my head completely still for the therapy. And they also did a CT scan so that they could line everything up. On the Thursday, they started doing the maths. So normally this takes about a week. And when they're ready, they phone with a date when the therapy is going to take place.
I waited for the Lord my God, and patiently did bear. At length to me he did incline my voice and cry to hear. He took me from a fearful pit and from the miry clay, and on a rock he set my feet, establishing my way.
So I got the phone call. You can imagine how I felt. It was Friday, September the 18th was my date. That's my parents' wedding anniversary. And it's the day before my sister's wedding. Like, from my point of view, the worst possible date. But I was hardly going to turn them down. But that was the date I wasn't hoping for. My radiotherapists were extremely confident. They were saying things like, you will have no side effects. But if you do, you just contact your GP. We don't need to see you again. And all of the follow-up will be through the oncology department. So reading between the lines, what they were saying was, we do this all the time and it works. So that gave me confidence. Then they led me into the treatment pod. Now the big machine, the stereotactic radiotherapy machine, just dominates the room. It's a big 2-axis rotating laser guided robotic arm. And the bed rises and tilts automatically to more accurately position the beams. I love technology. I mean, it's my job. So I just was overwhelmed by this. And I did sneak a wee video, although you're definitely not supposed to. But you can see my video.
He put a new song in my mouth, our God to magnify. Many shall see it and shall fear, and on the Lord rely. Oh, blessed is the man whose trust upon the Lord.
I lay down, they fixed my head in place with the moulded mask, and they were like, just relax, we're going to fire some high intensity beams into your completely immobilized head. And I'm like, okay. Therapy for each of the 3 tumours took about 20 minutes, so an hour in total. And I was able to take a short break in between each one. But I don't normally struggle to stay completely still, but I did this time. It was just difficult to stay still. If I was doing this over again, I would probably bring like a fidget cube or something to distract me, and I would choose a music playlist or an audiobook or something. But afterwards, I felt great. The immediate danger had been dealt with, and I had a plan for the future. So I ran up the steps to the car park, not because I was in any sort of hurry, just because I could. It wasn't exactly how any wee girl imagines her wedding whenever she's growing up. It had been cancelled and rearranged and then changed again because of COVID-19 restrictions. Our mum had been rushed into hospital with a stroke just the week before. All the guests were all masked up and they had to be kept at least 2 meters apart. The wedding favours consisted of hand sanitizer and face masks. Some of the tables at the reception, which was in the Ross Park Hotel in Kells, had only 2 guests. And even the Ceilidh band had to be cancelled, which is a big deal in our household. No, I don't think that's how anybody imagines their wedding day. In the lead up to it, Ruth, my sister, was understandably very stressed, but it was a beautiful wedding. On the day itself, she was calm as an ice lolly. She was just chilled. With all the stuff that had gone wrong, I think in her head it was like, anything that can go wrong has gone wrong, and anything new will just add to the tale. With all the COVID-19 restrictions, there were dozens of options for streaming the service, which meant our mum in her hospital ward was able to watch the whole service as well as anybody. And miraculously, the hospital Wi-Fi held up. I would say she had the best seat in the house. The newly married couple, John and Ruth, crossed the road to get their usual post-church coffee to Nero's, and then everybody went to the hotel for the reception. The speeches were great, you know, as speeches are. The food was excellent. And then the wedding party, we all disappeared off to the hospital to finish the night with the mother of the bride. Perfect wedding. Yeah, it was good.
Respecting not the proud, nor such as turn aside to life. O Lord my God, full many are the wonders thou hast done. Thy gracious thoughts to us ward far, above all thoughts are gone. In order none can reckon them to thee, if them declare, and speak of them I would